Hello and welcome to a very special episode, Route 66 themed, and I am at the endpoint, the unofficial endpoint of Route 66, standing in front of Santa Monica Pier's entrance. I got a speech ready and I got some history to read off, and then we're going to go all the way to the Pacific Ocean. So it's going to be a fun-filled but bittersweet episode, so I'm ready. Are you? Alright, so first off, some history. The Santa Monica Pier was built in 1909. A second pier would be built in 1916. The bridge and entry gate were built during the Depression in 1938. This sign was put up in 1941, and of course, as you can see, it still stands with all the retro signage and everything. It's basically a stylized metal arch in the streamlined modern style. Now today they got that road blocked off, but of course I can just literally walk my way to that Route 66 end of the trail sign, which is what I'm about to do. All right, so it all comes down to this. In front of me is, of course, the main part of Santa Monica Pier, and then you'll see parts of Pacific Park, and that over there is Santa Monica Beach, and then way ahead of you is the Pacific Ocean. It looks really blue, but when you get closer, you discover it's not so much blue. All right, people, here I am. It all comes down to this spot. To say it's a bittersweet moment is putting it very lightly. It's complicated to explain how I did this journey, but the best thing I can tell you is I did it in 5 different parts, or what I call legs. I started in October of 2020 from Edwardsville, Illinois to Chicago. The following spring, I went to the opposite direction from Edwardsville to Clinton, Oklahoma. Later that year in 2021, I went from where I left off all the way to Gallup, New Mexico. Earlier this year in 2022, I again drove back to where I left off in Gallup and made it as far as Victorville, California. And then this time around, I decided to do what I call the last 100 miles westbound of old Route 66 journey. The last 3 times, obviously, I traveled by airplane and rented a car. I made the most of it as I drove through several towns, a few big cities, some abandoned parts of the road, as well as empty buildings, gas stations, a lot of restored classic businesses, be it restaurants, motels, and shops. A lot of it I have documented on this channel. I went through 8 states in the process of it, and I mostly stuck with the original 1926 route, though I did travel some former alternative and other Route 66 routes. It is said that it is possible to drive as much as 84% of the original Route 66, but there are some exceptions, most notably parts of the long desert stretch in California by Amboy and Fenner. I was not able to drive on that, but that of course is a long story. So you're probably wondering, you've traveled through all these states, those towns, just to get to this point. Well, I don't know who originally came up with this quote, but it's not always about the destination, it's how you get there. People can travel as much as Route 66 all they want. I can name at least few people who have done the entire route at least 5 times. Do I want to do it again? Absolutely. But there's so much on my travel and video vlogging bucket list that I would love to do before doing such thing. All right, now we're getting closer to the sign, but there's always that Bubba Gump Shrimp. And by the way, that looks so much bigger on the outside than right here. So in the end, I hope I have inspired people to drive America's main street. If you've watched my videos or someone else's, hopefully you get the idea of why Route 66 is such a big deal. Someone once told me Route 66 is just a road. That was one of my motivations for going on this journey. I was going to write a blog about it. But because really nobody reads blogs anymore, well, vlogs seem to be the thing anyway. So I'm gonna work my way towards the Santa Monica sign, and looks like there's already a line. All right, let's do this. Here I go. This is said to be picked up from a Hollywood scrap metal thing, but I don't know that for sure. Okay, see if I can get me in. Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about right here. End of the trail. It is way official now. So this end of the trail sign was unveiled on November 10th, 2009, or Veterans Day, which was the 83rd anniversary of America's numbered trail system. It was to be the spiritual end of Route 66. And there were people lined up in cars and motorcycles along this way. And there was like a speech or ceremony, and they said, okay, who here approves of this as the unofficial end of Route 66? And many cars honked in approval. The idea for this sign was conceived by the Route 66 Alliance, the Santa Monica Convention and Visitors Bureau, the nonprofit Santa Monica Pier Incorporated, and the 66 to Cali Incorporated. The 66 to Cali Incorporated is a souvenir company on the pier. And of course, while you're here, I mean, there's plenty of things to do. There's plenty of shops. There's the Pier Burger, and there's a Route 66 themed store. Maybe there's two of them. I don't know that for sure. I'll have to check once I get all the way back there. And I was planning on buying souvenirs here at this store, but unfortunately it's closed. Story of my life. Okay, so it says here, did you know the original end of the trail sign for Route 66 disappeared in the late 50s? The owners, Dan and Jessica Rice, originally bought the rights to it and put it on a t-shirt before restoring it to the pier in 2009. That event ended up reaching an international audience of 60 million people, according to Palak PR. Today, that end of the trail shirt is available one place in the world. Here. Well, not today, I guess. But there's some newspaper articles. So this is not the official or original terminus of Route 66. It is still celebrated as the end of one's Route 66 journey. Even though Route 66 ended at the intersection of Olympic and Lincoln Boulevards, the city of Santa Monica somewhat extended this as the end. This was mostly fueled by Route 66 nostalgia from the early 2000s, especially with the Disney Pixar Cars movie. And as one would expect, the Santa Monica Pier has been filmed and referenced in many movies. The Lost Boys usually is the first one to come to mind, especially with that roller coaster over there. I don't know about the comic book store where the vampires or the vampire leader works at. But this has been featured in many movies, including Forrest Gump and The Sting. It is mentioned in the movie Titanic, where Jack Dawson talks about eating corn dogs on the Santa Monica Pier. This pier can also be seen sinking in the movie 2012 or 2012. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. No shortage of LA gear, meaning Los Angeles Dodgers gear. Oh yeah, the shoreline. Definitely a good people watching spot. And that is Pacific Park, which is part of the Santa Monica Pier. It's like a mini amusement park within another. And be prepared to pay at least $10 in parking. I paid $15 to park at that lot. Usually the Santa Monica Pier lot is open, but it was closed this morning for whatever reason. I was not really happy about that, but it is what it is. You know, you just gotta bear with it. I mean, yeah, it's not that I'm El Cheapo paying $5 extra, but it's like, why pay that much if you don't have to? But from here, you get a nice view of the Santa Monica skyline, and of course the ocean, which just seems so forever endless until I get to Hawaii and small islands, and then Japan and wherever in Asia. All right, so we're going to make our way towards the Bob Waldmire mural and the end of the pier. Here we go. Welcome to Santa Monica, the world famous pier, the end of Route 66. 2,448 miles. It's just a reminder that I drove as much. However, that number again could be altered because some parts were not open. Just saying. Now, regretfully, I did not talk very much about Bob Waldmire, or Robert Waldmire, especially when I was at Cozy Dog in Springfield, but Robert Waldmire was the son of the owners of Cozy Dog in Springfield. He was a very well known in the Route 66 community. His artwork has been everywhere. I featured a lot of it in the Hackberry General Store episode, which I did. And he actually owned that place for a short time as well, and he helped keep it alive. Widely credited for that too. And of course, I got to see his famous bus at the Pontiac Museum, or the Route 66 Museum in Pontiac, Illinois. He died in 2009 after a battle with cancer. I mean, from what I heard and read, that he kept a very positive attitude. There's some videos of him on YouTube, so after you get done watching this one, definitely check him out, because you know, there's interviews and then there's him signing autographs on his artwork and everything. Yeah, 1945 to 2009. Half of his ashes were buried in Monterville Cemetery, which is in Rochester, Illinois, about east of Springfield, Illinois. He's buried, or he's got a grave marker next to his parents. It is said that his ashes are spread all over Route 66, and some even here in the Pacific Ocean. I don't know how true that is, but continue to rest in peace, Bob Waldmire, the unofficial hippie of Route 66. And now we're gonna get close to the ocean. And this is as closest to the ocean as I can get. Many people are doing their fishing thing. And here we go. This, my friend, is as far as I can get on the Santa Monica Pier. Very peaceful. I'll probably go swimming later. And in case you're wondering what it looks like underneath the pier, there you go. It's kind of creepy that we're all standing on these things, but it's been that way for years, and in case an earthquake shatters something, then... Alright, so this is how the pier looks at nighttime. And if you hear those ocean waves, yes, I am that close to the Pacific Ocean. And then, of course, I don't know if you can see it because the camera doesn't really do it justice, as I always say, but that is the very end of the pier where the Bob Waldmire is. But it's really cool to check out the whole neon Pacific Park and a lot of these businesses along the pier. So the Ferris wheel over there, it's got its colors all lit up blue and yellow. And because the football or NFL season is starting up pretty soon, they got the St. Louis Rams thing going. And the reason I'm laughing is because, I mean, yeah, a lot of my St. Louis friends who are probably watching this video are like, yeah, whatever, because of the whole Stan Kroenke thing, but anywho, but yeah, this is pretty much the whole beauty of it. All right, so I think I'm going to get my feet wet, and here comes a big wave coming towards my way, and it's going to touch my feet. Oh yeah, the water is cold and it's got a funky smell. But I guess that's what the Pacific Ocean is about, right? And from here I get a really nice view. I can't really tell which is which because you get a lot of mountaintops, and then you got the Santa Monica skyline right over there. And then of course to my right is the pier. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this very special episode of Route 66 edition of Historically Marked. I am Jason, right on the Santa Monica Pier, celebrating my end of Route 66 journey. I did it in Chicago, St. Louis, OKC. Definitely want to do it again. I don't know when I'll do it, but as for now, I'm just going to take in the moment, and I hope to see some of your feedback. But stay tuned for some more episodes here on this channel. Please like and subscribe. Maybe I'll try the Historic National Road where I left off, or maybe the Lincoln Highway may have something in the future, so who knows. But for now, I hope you enjoy this content on this channel. So all right, this is Jason in Santa Monica, California, in front of the Pacific Ocean, signing off.